Well, welcome back, everybody. This is another installment of our Half Earth Project Educator Ambassador video chat series. And I'm really happy to be joined today by Joe Grabowski. He's the founder of Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. And I think what Joe's doing is I think Joe's super interesting. I think what he's doing is super interesting. And so I want to introduce our community to Joe. How you doing, Joe?
I'm good, Dennis. Thanks for
Good.
having me today.
Yeah. Thanks for coming on. Why don't we just start out by, let's start out by telling me about Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. What is it? And, why should educators know about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants is a nonprofit I founded in 2015. And so the goal is to inspire the next generation of scientists and explorers. So we do this through live virtual field trips and guest speakers. We've been doing this since September of 2015. We've run well over 1,000 live events, connecting hundreds of thousands of students to scientists and explorers from over 75 countries.
So that's
Yeah,
great scale. That's really terrific. So
yeah.
tell me a little bit about that model of how the classrooms participate.
Yeah, absolutely. So, during normal times, classrooms participate via Zoom. So we have up to 8 classrooms who join in live on camera. They can interact. They can be in all different locations across North America. At the same time that that's happening, all the events stream live via YouTube. So any classroom anywhere can join in live and interact via the chat sidebar. And then all of our events record to our YouTube channel. So we have a library of hundreds and hundreds of past events that can be used by students and educators anytime they want.
Well, and I should mention that you've been super busy. We're in the midst of this global coronavirus crisis. So you've changed your model, but you're doing these explorations, continuing to do them all over the world on a pretty busy schedule, and people are still tuning in via YouTube. Is that how it's working?
Yeah, we did a quick pivot. So we used our community of thousands of educators across North America and sent the word out to them to send the word out to the parents of their students that these events are going to continue. So all of the events we're doing now stream live via YouTube. Anybody can join in live, send in questions, and interact that way. So we've ramped things up. I would say in the last week and a half-ish, we've run over 30 live events. We've got another 60 live events set up and ready to go, with more coming. And we are just exploring a huge world of science, adventure, exploration, and conservation. We've got events live from zoos and aquariums and sea turtle rescues and sloth centers. We've got scientists and explorers, from astronauts to marine biologists. We've got events out in the field in Patagonia and Costa Rica up in the rainforest canopy. So we're just doing our best to bring some normalcy by being able to bring these events live to the students, the parents, the educators at home
Yeah.
for as long as we need to.
No, and some engagement with some great science that's also fun. I think it's terrific. So I look forward to working with you. Hopefully, our plans are to put together some things in April and May. Here at the E.O. Wilson Biodiversity Foundation, we're all about conservation, understanding species, understanding biodiversity, and I know that that's a strong theme, of the various things that you do. So really looking forward to that. So let me ask you, where's Seat of Your Pants come from?
Uh, Kind of a play on two different things. The first being that with technology these days, we can take students anywhere in the world and they never have to leave their seats. So most of our events will take place from a scientist or explorer's home, lab, office, in the field with a good cell phone connection. But we have a fleet of textbook-sized satellite BGAN units. We send these around the world with different scientists and explorers, and then they can use them to video broadcast live into classrooms from the most remote regions of the planet. So we broadcast from all 7 continents, from both poles, from coral atolls in the middle of the ocean to the tops of volcanoes, the middle of rainforests and deserts. There's nowhere that we can't bring live into classrooms to show their science and conservation in action. And then the second part is more of just, when I launched the non-for-profit, I had no idea what I was doing. I was flying by the seat of my pants. And I feel like every day I kind of am a little bit. So
Right.
that's kind of where that came from too.
So let me just a little bit of background on you. Can tell me about yourself. I think you have a teaching background. Maybe you have some connection with National Geographic. Yeah, tell
Yeah.
our.
Yeah, I was an educator. I taught intermediate, so grade 7 and 8 math and science for 6 or 7 years. And, during this time, I just didn't feel like I was reaching the students the way that I wanted to. I need to find a way to kind of make the lessons a little more exciting and meaningful for them, a little less pen to paper, a little less textbook action. And so I started bringing scientists and explorers live into my classroom via Skype. And what was meant to just be kind of a little starter, a little addition to lessons turned into a huge thing in the classroom. The students went crazy for it. They loved it. Their questioning skills were growing by leaps and bounds. Science was becoming their favorite subject. So we set a crazy challenge to do 50 live connections with scientists and explorers all over the world that year. And they loved every second of it. So I continued that in the classroom until I decided that I needed to launch Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, because I had hundreds of contacts all over the world, and it just seemed like a shame that such a small group was benefiting from it.
Right.
So I launched the non-for-profit. It caught National Geographic's attention, and I became an immersion explorer with them in 2017, which quickly led to an education fellowship. So I was their first education fellow. And that went on for about two plus years, where we built some programs together, and I continued to develop Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants. And I took the big leap to leave the classroom and do this full time.
Well, congratulations, Joe. Thanks for doing that, and it's just great to hear that you continue to thrive and grow. Let me uh, put you on the spot and say, do you have any favorite things that have happened on these excursions that you do? Like, I don't know, just something funny, something particularly amazing.
Are you thinking in one of the live events or one of the
Yeah, in one of these live events.
All right, cool. Yeah. So, I mean, it's wild what we're able to share with the classroom. So a real highlight recently was connecting with Old Pejeta Conservancy in Kenya. And we are able to broadcast live from the field with the last 2 northern white rhinos on the planet.
Wow.
So, we meet the rangers whose job it is to protect them, 24 hours a day. We hear the story about how they're trying to save the species through in vitro fertilization. It's incredible to be able to share something like that with classrooms. I mean, to be able to show such a big animal that's in jeopardy of disappearing from our planet because of our actions, I think it's a hugely impactful thing for students to see, something like that. And another story, a funny story that we can share, we were hosting an event with an explorer, and he was in Iceland, right at the point where the 2 continents meet. So there's this fissure almost between the 2 continents you can dive between, and the water is amazingly clear. It's pretty amazing. I think it's the Safara. I think that's the name of it. And so he was there, he was doing the event, and these divers came out of the water, and they just came over and just started talking to him as if, they're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He's like, "Oh, I'm doing a live event with classrooms." And so these divers were like, "Oh, hey," and they just kind of like joined into the event. So, when things are live, absolutely anything can happen.
You never know who you're going to run into when you're out in some remote place. Thanks again, Joe. Why don't you just give us just a quick tour of the website so folks can see some of what you have to offer.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just going to pop up the screen share here, and we'll take a little tour together. All right, so it should be up now.
Yep.
So yeah, Exploring by the Seat or exploringbytheseat.com is the website. Once you drop in there and start to scan through, you can see a few events featured near the top. Big important part right here is to join our newsletter. So each month we put out 2 to 3 newsletters, and that's where we kind of share everything that's coming up, all the new events, maybe some cool new curriculum material that you can use. And then there's an update or two during the month with, we always get all kinds of amazing last minute events. Sometimes dates or times change, so it's definitely worth signing up for the newsletter to keep up to date with everything that we are up to. As you move down, there's a selection of a few upcoming lessons, and then just a little picture of where we've been. So all the countries we've been able to broadcast live into classrooms from. So we're over 75 now, which is pretty amazing. And hopefully one day we can fill in the rest of the map. And then for right now, the really important piece here is where to find what we're up to. So normally as a teacher in the classroom, you jump to the lesson section, you can find everything that's happening. You can find the links to join in live on YouTube. You can find a form to sign up for if you want a camera spot. But since there's no camera spots right now and it's all live via YouTube, you want to head to the special events. And we have the coronavirus can't stop the virtual classroom. So we're collecting all of our events here for the foreseeable future.
Excellent.
And just to give you a little taste here, we've got our schedule because we do have a couple different channels. So sometimes events have to stream on different channels. So you can see where each event is streaming live for the day. And then as you move down, you can just find just a crazy list of live events. So Arctic tour of the Toronto Zoo. We had a French event with a chemist in Montreal. Visited the Sea Turtle Hospital in the Florida Keys. So as you scan down, you can just see the events don't stop. Live event from the Philip J. Curry Dinosaur Museum.
That's terrific. So visitors can look at on demand at past events, but they can also see the schedule for future events and join in live.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's where you'll find all the events that are coming up. And then if you head to, YouTube and search our channel, Exploring by the Seat of Your Pants, you'll find hundreds and hundreds of videos stretching back to 2015 and all the way up to everything that finished today. We had 7 live events today. So it was another crazy busy day.
That's great. Killer.
All
Great.
right.
Okay. Well, Joe, that's terrific. Exploring by the seat of your pants.com. Visit soon and learn something and have some fun. It's great. All right. Well, thanks again. And we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Sounds good.